Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Dual Screens Crossplay Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Stephen Fontana, and with me, he's Andy Asimakis. How are you, Andy?
Stephen, I learned something today about myself
boy.
that I've known for quite a long time, but
Sure.
I think today confirmed it.
Uh-huh.
So I was cooking today for the first time in a long time, and I cut myself like not once, twice. Uno dose.
You're not supposed to be allowed not.
I'm not.
near knives, but okay.
I can't be. You can still see some blood over there. I'm
Yeah.
not. I can't be allowed sharp objects ever.
Right.
Because it was like I got the one cut. I was like, oh fuck, that's pretty deep. And then within seconds, another one.
You need to get
Horrible.
tested for some sort of neurological disorder, because
Yeah, but I'm
for you-
afraid
for
what
you
it's
to-
gonna reveal.
yeah, well, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen, this is the Dual Screens Crossplay Podcast, the internet's #1 gaming news podcast starring people you have never heard of, probably. The show posts each and every Tuesday. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm calling an audible. Andy. I have made an executive decision as producer of this show. Because of my work schedule, I will no longer be editing this the same night we record it. So this will be going up on Wednesdays when I get home from work. I will edit it quickly and put it up. So this show is going to go on Wednesdays. But if you want to watch it a whole day earlier, come and hang out on twitch.tv/dualscreens streams. But the video and audio will be going up at the same time. The video on youtube.com/dualscreens.tv. Now, Andy, I had an idea.
Oh boy,
I had an idea.
That's like famous last words.
So you know that I have changed the format of the show several times. Now, here's the thing. I'm always looking for a way to differentiate ourselves.
Where's the knife?
Hold on.
I need that knife.
I'm always looking to differentiate ourselves from other podcasts. Now, how many podcasts starring people you've never heard of?
Too many.
There are a lot, right? Of just like
Of course.
dudes that run a dumb website like Dual Screens or whatever,
Right.
and they do
So
a
many.
podcast, and
Right.
they're lucky if they get like 300 people and
Sure.
whatever.
Yeah.
But what would make us different but still keep that DNA? So I had an idea.
Go ahead.
What if the chat live feeds us the news we're going to discuss? It's a 100% viewer-generated video game news podcast.
And it's a Twitch exclusive.
And it's, well, no, it's not Twitch exclusive, but in order to be a part of the show, you have to watch it on Twitch.
You know, I love this idea. Can I make a small suggestion to that?
Well, yes, but I'll see if you're going to suggest the modifier I already have. But yes, continue.
Oh, we play games while we do it.
Oh, that's interesting. No, I wasn't thinking that. But here's how it would work. The chat would be feeding us news. Now, we're not just going to go and flippantly just do all of them, right? We're not.
Of course
we're
not.
not going to do that.
We're not savages.
We're not savages. We're going to
That's
pick
standard,
the
after all.
ones that sound interesting to us
Mm-hmm.
and read them. But it's going to be more of I was thinking more of a banter between the two of us about what we're playing. And in between, when we get fed a cool news story, we click it. And we'll always have some backup stories, stuff that we want to talk about, maybe one. But the idea is that we go through the stories quicker, unless they hit us hard and then they, whatever. And maybe what we can do is we can award what becomes our topic of the week. We'll designate it the topic of the week, and we'll award that person in our chat with like a game code or something.
Ooh, this is like getting a lot of levels deep now.
Now I'm obviously not doing that this week, and this is going to take some time to workshop the format.
We need to get like
Right.
things on paper.
Yeah, some things need to happen. But it's not going to be we're not going to rename the podcast.
Some rules of engagement.
Yeah, there, whatever. But it's going to be. I mean, the reason why I made this decision, aside from wanting to be different, Andy, was we have mods, and our mods hang out a lot when we do this show, because we don't stream. We stream one day a week on this channel, and our mods are always hanging out, so they could filter the bullshit. You understand? You get what I'm saying?
I do.
We could even have Miss Envy be in our doc chat, pre-screening the links, and then saying this is from yada yada, and boom, put the link in the chat, and then we click it, so that we're not that it's like Just that it's not inappropriate links. Not that I don't want her cherry picking the news for us or anybody for that matter.
Right.
But just saying, maybe saying, here's the topic, here's the person, here's the link, boom. And then we could go, okay, let's do it.
It's like the world's most amorphous podcast ever. It's
I love
always,
it.
you never know what's going to happen, day to day, week by week.
Yeah. Folks, if you want to support us on Patreon, you can do so. It's so easy. Go to patreon.com/NDS podcast, just like our Patreon producers, Colton the Apprentice Nestler, FNH Paul, and Vegas Girl on Fire. We love all you guys, and we appreciate it. And we're going to try and do more interactive stuff on Patreon for our... Usually we change it up in May, but we did a January this year, so I'm going to wait until probably midsummer. But we want to switch things up and give you guys a little bit more interactivity. We tried to do an AMA video, and it didn't work out. Nobody put any questions. So we have to figure out a better way to interact with you guys. That's clearly not the way. So we are going to be making some changes for our Patreon producers. Andy, let's get into our adventures in gaming. Andy,
Boy.
I got my code.
You did, didn't you?
I got my code. I got my code for Biomutant, but I have not booted it up yet. I downloaded it last night.
Tells you all about it.
I streamed last night. I did not stream the game because I do marbles on Mondays, as you know.
Yes.
And I opened 36 packs of Pokemon cards.
As one does on a
As
Monday
one
night.
does, yep. Got that secret rare, though.
Mm-hmm.
So I will play it today after the show. So I'll have hopefully have a review done before the weekend, but I will definitely have a lot to say about the game next week, and I imagine you will as well. Also, that Knockout City game.
Ooh, I've been hearing so many good things about this. Is it as good as they say?
It's as fun as they say. I don't think it's as good as they say. Shall I expound?
Yes, please.
This is a really, really, really well executed concept, but very shallow. It has the opportunity. It's like Destruction All Stars, but dodgeball. Like that. That's like the way I put it. It's like, yes, you could unlock different skins, different models, different whatever, and that's, I guess, cool. That's like the carrot at the end of the stick. But at the end of the day, every match is pretty much the same. You run around, you throw dodgeballs. There's a couple of game modes. There's nothing that makes it feel truly unique. And I don't think it'll have legs, especially when the free trial ends up for PlayStation gamers. It's gonna be $20 to play.
It's like what, 10 days or some shit like that?
It's a 10-day, yeah. So I think it'll be a week on Friday, I believe. I think it came out Friday. I'm not 100% sure. But it's a Game Pass game. So like if you own Game Pass, if you're a member of Game Pass, it's like a perfect game. You pick it up, you play it for a couple of hours, you put it down, get your friends together. It's always better to play with friends. But it just doesn't really I don't think it has the legs in its current state. I'd love to see their map to see what kind of stuff they're going to do. Maybe they could get, like in a Fortnite way, get some sponsored costumes or something like that. That could be unlocks and whatnot. But it has the DNA of your season pass, unlockable, chase the thing, make the bar go up, get better and better, but play the same thing over and over again. And we have a lot of those. And this, to me, is like ARMS, the free-to-play version.
You know what? I did get an ARMS vibe looking at it, because ARMS, back in the day, I think we were like all about it for like a month, maybe less than that.
Right.
And then it went away forever. We just forgot about it entirely. Yeah, I see that. I don't see anything that looks gripping, like addictive about it in the gameplay of it. But I've heard it's fun, so there's that.
Well, that's the part that's addictive. I didn't shut it off because I was bored of it. I shut it off because I was exhausted and I had to go to sleep. But it's one of those games that you could get stuck playing over and over and over again because you're just having fun with your friends. Playing it by myself, I did a couple of 1v1s because there is a 1v1 mode.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
But I mean, it's okay. I mean,
right? Okay.
The stages are still are just big enough for a 3v3. But way too big for a 1v1. So, like, you could just be chasing each other, and
that's the whole match,
basically. So that part is not great. But contrary to what the chat is saying, namely Buzz, I'm actually not bad at that game. I got pretty damn good at the game. As soon as I learned how to do trick shots, I was fine, because there's lobs and there's curve shots, and once you learn the mechanics of how each of the different balls work, and how the timing goes for catching the ball and knocking the ball out of the air and stuff like that, you get pretty good at it. But it's totally got one of those ARMS vibes where, okay, I've seen everything, I did everything, I'm kind of done. I don't need this other skin. Like, I'm not gonna wear. The character models are fucking gross. They all look horrible. Like the art style is bad. For the characters, yes. So they do this thing, and it's fine that they do this, but they don't give you enough in any one direction. They're all kind of androgynous. The faces, like they like any face could be male or female. The bodies aren't necessarily male and female bodies. They're just wider shoulders and like wider shoulders, skinnier legs, and then more muscular shoulders and muscular thighs. And kind of the chest comes out a little bit, but it's not necessarily a woman. Like, you could totally make the case that it's just like a buff soccer player.
Sure.
They look like soccer bodies, basically. And
okay.
And like the faces are just very jagged. And the hairstyles are very limited. Obviously you unlock a lot more stuff, but like you could have I like this part, you could have anybody wear any clothes, so like it doesn't matter. But I think that they need a little bit more so that people can make something that, if they want to be distinguished in one way or the other, they have more options. There's not a ton of options, basically. There's a couple of costumes that you could start off with. There's one that are like booty shorts and a crop top, and one's like a little skirt.
Looks the same, more or less.
A lot of people look the same until you start unlocking all the costumes, which I guess is the point of the game. But even so, like, if you want to play a feminine character, you may not unlock a feminine costume forever, because there's no like there is no feminine and masculine. It's just like what we perceive as feminine and masculine. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it is. Like, I have a traditional view of something like that, and I'm like, okay, I'm making a feminine character, and I haven't unlocked anything everything that I would unlock is like, I don't know, I don't even know what to say. Like, it's like long jeans, like boots, and like a leather jacket all buttoned up, and or whatever. And you're like, okay, I guess, it's not that a female couldn't wear that. I'm just saying, like,
that's what I wear.
Like, I want,
sometimes.
yeah, well, yeah, but like, I just feel like they kind of, they just don't give enough options for the more feminine
on the onset,
on the feminine side of the spectrum, I would say.
Okay.
They have a lot more masculine options, which is fine. So I would like to see that, but that doesn't take away from the game at all. I just thought, when I was going through the options, like, oh, this is weird. But it was fun.
Okay.
I had a good time.
Neat. Is that all that you've been playing? That's of note and that you want to talk about?
I had probably the best
discuss my bullshit
day of Apex I've ever played in arenas. Like, I was just lighting it up.
Right.
In the arenas mode.
Are you using up your minute for this?
I just want to say that I've been playing that.
Okay, that's all you want to say.
I'm actually super excited to get into Biomutant. I kept this game completely off my radar for a long time. Like, I just didn't care. And then this game came out. I was like, wait a minute. This looks like it's a me game. Like, it looks like it's a little bit more difficult than the games that I would traditionally play in the combat, but like the world and the atmosphere, the visual style, I just love action RPGs, you know that. So I think I'm really gonna enjoy this one.
Yeah, I think with that game, the more I still like a review that was like 1 out of 5. It can't be a 1 out of 5. There's no way the game is that broken. That's like broken status. So the more hate I see, the more I'm intrigued by it.
Yeah.
So I'm anxious to get my hands on that and to start playing it. But I've been playing Resident Evil 8 a lot lately. And I will say this about that game. It's a great game. It's a great Resident Evil game through and through. It's got all the elements you expect from Resident Evil, wacky storyline and all that stuff. But I'm struggling to find the scary in this game. like I did with Part 7. It's just not there. And I
Mm.
think it's for two reasons. Or one main reason actually. It's the cast of characters.
Mm.
They are so cartoonish.
Right.
And I think the meme of the characters made them less scary going
Yeah.
into the actual experience. And like you laugh half the time at what they're saying, at what they're doing.
Well, it's got the Bride of Chucky syndrome.
Yeah, they're just so comical. I feel like
over sexualized, comical, like
right.
break the tension with a one-liner, like
right. And it's just Part 7 nailed it with the family so well. Like that tight unit, like the father, the mother, the son,
right.
and they were all equally disturbed. And it was, it seemed sort of grounded too with how insane what was going on around you. But this feels like it just so anime.
Right.
It's so cartoony. I'm like, all right, well,
that's how I felt with 4.
I'm just laughing. Yeah.
4 for me took a hard left turn into the bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was always a big scary monster, right? We always had the tyrant.
Sure.
We always had
something with tentacles,
Nemesis, and what was the other one? The
Tyrant.
There was Tyrant. Oh, Mr. X.
Oh, Mr. X. Yeah.
And there was always the big scary guy. The thing that I not sure I'm going to. I mean, I'm going to enjoy the game because I as much as the 7 was scary, it was still a lot of fun to play. So this leans more heavily into fun than scary. So I'm probably just going to continue to have fun with it.
It's made me laugh more than I thought it would.
Right. Well, you're slightly desensitized though.
I am, but still, 7 got to me a little bit under my skin in a lot of ways, and this is just like
the best thing about 7 is
that's cute,
and it's something actually I think you don't like about some horror movies that do this.
Jump scares?
No, it humanizes or gives you makes you feel bad for some of the villains.
Oh, I'm totally down with that.
Okay,
as long as
I can't remember.
As long as you don't like shoehorn in some exposition at the 18th hour.
Right.
What I don't like is when you have a setup where the main character is an obvious asshole and you shouldn't be rooting for them, and the movie forces you to do so.
Right.
And the best example is that movie called Don't Breathe. It was a bunch of kids robbing a blind guy's house because he had a fortune somewhere in his apartment, apparently. And I'm made to feel bad for kids robbing a blind guy because he traps them in his house and tortures them. Like, go blind guy. Kill those assholes.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that one. All right, Andy, what have you been playing?
That's it. Resident Evil 8. Resident Evil 8,
that's good,
and I finished up Nier. I got all the endings in Nier. That ending, that new ending that they added to the game.
Why did they do that?
Because it's dope. It's so dope.
I understand that, but like, if you had the plans to make an E ending, wait, hold on. You're talking about Nier, right?
Nier, yeah.
Okay, never mind. I thought you were still on. I heard Nier, but I ignored the word Nier, not thinking it was Neir or Nier, whatever. I thought it was. I thought you were Near. So I thought you were just
Nier.
I thought you were like
I'm near an ending.
Yeah, like that was weird. My brain just completely shit the bed on that one. Andy, we have some indie news to catch everybody up on.
Oh boy, yes. Axiom Verge 2 has been delayed again. And it's fine. It's totally fine, you guys. So amazing developer Thomas Happ was supposed to launch Axiom Verge 2 sometime last year. That didn't happen. It got pushed till early this year. Didn't happen. So now he's aiming for Q3 of this year, the July-September range. And you know what I'm going to say? I don't care, buddy. I love the first game. This looks like even better than the first one by a million times. And I will wait until next year, even if I have to play this game.
Yeah.
So there's that.
I enjoyed what I played of the first one. I'm kind of over the Metroidvanias, so I'm probably not going to play it. But yeah, I mean, that's great. So I want to add something to the indie news update. I know that we're already going long, but I saw Miss Envy playing something today on her stream. I was finally able to catch it. I forget the name of it. So Miss Envy, if you could put that in the chat really quickly. There's this game that is 100% The Wild at Heart.
Ooh, I downloaded that. Did not play it yet.
It is Pikmin.
Yes, that's what I saw. And I was like, I want to play this now.
It's by Moonlight Kids, who we need to get on the
Mhm.
show, because they made a Pikmin which appears at my glances as at it to be just as good, if not better, than any Pikmin game. Like,
Wow.
I mean, it's more isometric. It's less. Pikmin. Yeah, Pikmin was.
Well, yeah, Pikmin had a little slant
top
going
down
on.
and-
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Um,
Isometric for sure.
But I haven't played Pikmin since Pikmin 2. But I will say that I want to speak to this company, to these guys, because
All right, I'm making a note.
I don't know how this game came together, but like Nintendo should be taking notes because they did a really, really good job at what I saw so far. So keep your eyes on that. It's on Game Pass. You can download it for free right friggin' now. But you are going to have to wait a little bit longer than that for some sick deets about Horizon Forbidden West, Andy.
Oh my god.
Let's get
Steven.
into the Dual Screens report.
Do it.
Well, PlayStation gave us 2 days notice this time. We are getting a state of play for Horizon Forbidden West, Horizon 2 Forbidden West. They actually have the 2 in there. Did you see that?
Wow.
Did you notice that? That's the
saw it.
first time we saw that.
I know, it's real.
That's really a sequel. It's not
a
just
part 2.
It's a part 2.
It's not just a name for some reason, just an actual part 2.
So we are going to have we're going to be seeing about 14 minutes of brand new in-game action featuring our heroic protagonist, Aloy, all captured directly on PlayStation 5. This is happening on Thursday, the 27th. It is happening at 9 a.m. Pacific time. That's noon. Our time. That's the countdown. I'm sorry. It's starting at 2 o'clock Pacific time. So that sucks. Another one right when I'm trying to leave work. So thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, PlayStation. 5 p.m. for our East Coasterners kind of sucks.
Coasterners.
God dang it. God
just work late. It's only half an hour. Just hang out till it's done.
The man don't get no extra time from me. The man don't get that free time from me. I know that your nipples are absolutely rock solid with this.
A little bit, ever so slightly.
Yeah, I finished the game a lot closer. What's the word I'm looking for? Sooner ago? No, more recently. I found it.
There's 2 things with this. One, it's like, yay, we're seeing Horizon in its own dedicated state of play. Amazing. I'm here for it. I love it. But it makes me wonder, how close is this thing from launching if we're getting a full state of play at this point of the year? Prior to the E3
It's September for
proper.
me.
I think it's a lot closer than we expected it to come out. It's nice that it's getting a spotlight, and it's not going to take away from whatever greater E3 plan Sony has that's going to, show during that week of E3, even though they're not really at E3. But and it's also, I love Sony. They just let their game do the talking. It's like, here you go. Here's 2 days notice, a game you'll want to look at and see what it's all about. We announced it less than a year ago. Here it is, some gameplay. Boom. Enjoy. That's it.
Yeah.
Simple as that. What a concept.
I know. I know. It's I like these little state of plays. I do prefer ones that are a little bit more that have a little bit more to them, aside from just a one game showcase, just for my personal taste. But I love the deep dives too. Like
right.
This is basically something that you would see in like a dev diary. They show you. It's basically what it is. It's not really. It's just a polished. Slice.
And it leaves no room for like surprises or prediction. It's just one game spotlight. Here it is, 16 minutes of pure gameplay. Have at it. You can't bitch. You can't complain about what you didn't see. I'll still see where's God of War 2 in the chat, in the YouTube chat tomorrow.
Yeah, that's horrible. The YouTube chat is the worst. If you want to see true stupidity at work, just go watch the YouTube version of this stream. It's horrible.
So that's gonna be cool. But did you notice, Steven, in the blog post, they mentioned some sort of special pre-show thing at the very, very bottom. Yeah, there's like, no countdown. There's something they're going to be talking about or showing before they show Horizon. So it's definitely God of War 2, right?
No. No. They're probably going to show off the controllers in
Oh
person.
yeah, which is totally fine. I mean, I get it.
I want that red one.
Oh man,
The red one looks cool.
it looks really sick. I'm into it.
I mean, I'm down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm down with it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm down with the sickness. You know what else is sick, Andy?
Tell me, Steven.
That Dead by Daylight is going to make a better Resident Evil game, multiplayer game than Capcom.
Oh my god, just in time to celebrate the 5th year anniversary of Dead by Daylight, we're getting the Resident Evil collaboration launching on June 15th, starring Jill, Chris, and Nemesis. And have you seen this, Steven?
Sure did.
Holy hell. I feel like, the more they do these things, our good friends at Behavior, like, you can tell that these things are made with pure love and respect for the franchise from which they are inspired from.
Yeah.
Plucked. You feel like you're actually in Resident Evil 2 Remake in that police station lobby.
Yeah.
And it's just so much care put into it.
Andy.
Yes, Steven, tell me.
He kind of alluded to this last PAX.
So, yeah. It's so
with Matt,
we're
right?
We're getting our good friend Matthew back on the
Matthew
show
Coate.
to discuss this amazing collaboration and what other fun.
Because he said it would be great if we could collaborate with other big video game franchises.
Right, and it wasn't just a start with Silent Hill.
Right.
It was like we're moving in this direction now. We want to get more.
Right. But yeah, like it's funny because Capcom is making a multiplayer 1v4 whatever survival.
Would never be as good as Dead by Daylight.
I mean, it could be. Dead by Daylight's kind of janky.
But that's part of the charm. That's why it's so good.
Here's the thing. I like the idea of Dead by Daylight. Why do you got to fix generators all the time? What's with the fucking generators?
Because you got to open the door to leave.
Can't we figure out another type of puzzle to do? Why?
You could.
It's just I'm just going to say it right now. The Friday the 13th way you could win in that is way better.
There was more than one option.
Way better.
Right.
Huge map.
Yeah, big map. You could call the police. You could escape on foot. You could, well, not really. You could get the car keys. You can get on the boat. You could kill Jason. You could kill the actual killer.
I don't mind not being able to do that. And you can only kill him for a little while, right? You can. Oh no, you can.
No, he stays dead. He stays dead.
Only if you do the whole
it's a lot.
Mom thing. Yeah, the sweater. Right, it's a lot. All that shit.
Right, it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot.
There's just so many different ways you could play that game, and I think it was that concept better. I mean, it was fucking janky as hell. It got boring kind of quickly as well. But and Dead by Daylight has the advantage because they can make totally different monsters, different types of skill sets. All the characters have different skill sets and whatever. So
I'm gonna propose something here and now.
Propose.
There's enough of us here that are watching this stream at the moment. That we can finally have an official Dead by Daylight.
We've been talking about this for months.
We have. Months. And I want to do it.
Months.
I want to do it. And just be so dumb with it.
Months.
As we're playing. It needs to happen. I think crossplay is now a thing on the platform for the game. So.
Right.
Boom.
Speaking of dead, Konami looks to be reviving some...
well, they're not so dead.
They might be reviving or reanimating some dead IP. Andy, take that one away.
So recently, I'm not sure if you knew this, Steven, but there is a Konami game on Steam in early access as we speak.
Oh no.
And it's not half bad.
Is it a pachinko machine?
It's
simulator?
Not. It's not.
Okay.
It's a Roguevania game.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. So Getsufuma Den Undying Moon, which is based on a Famicom game from 1987 called Getsu Fumaden, was released on Steam, and it's been getting really good to okay reviews. No one's hating it so far, but it's early access, so it's got a ways to go for it's fully out there. So given this game's recent, mild success or not being totally set on fire by the fan base when it was released, Capcom was saying that they love the indie scene, they love indie devs, and they're looking forward to more collaborations and future projects similar to Getsu Fumaden. And of course, everyone was like, "Cool. Where's Metal Gear? Where's Silent Hill? Where's
You can't jump
Castlevania?"
there. You can't jump there.
Some guy did an amazing list on a comment. I just want to read it. He says, outsource Metal Gear to Kojima Productions, Castlevania to Artplay, that's Bloodstained, Silent Hill to Capcom, I'm not sure about that, Goemon to Nintendo, that's kind of cool, Rocket Knight to Sega, Contra to SNK, not sure why.
Well, they make the arcade games. They make
maybe Way Forward is the better choice for that. And Suikoden to Square Enix.
I have a better Contra.
Oh, okay.
I have a better Contra.
Tell me.
Housemarque.
Tell me. Oh God. I just thought of it.
A multiplayer, third-person action.
Oh Lord. I can't.
Beautiful game.
I can only get so erect.
Just a beautiful
That is just
game.
the idea of that. But yeah, Konami, listen. You've done this before. You gave Contra to Way Forward 1,000 years ago, and they made one of the best Contra games ever in Contra 4.
Mm-hmm.
Indie devs, if you choose the right ones, they will do good shit with your IP.
Right.
Trust me on this. Just find the right ones, do your work. Don't be lazy don't do a quick cash grab like that Contra Rogue Core crap that came out years ago.
So bad.
That was bad. There was like a pig. It was horrible. Just do your homework and you'll see some returns.
Right.
It's not that difficult.
I do know. I do know.
You do know.
Believe it or not.
You do know.
I do know. You know
what else do you know?
You know what people really don't know?
What else don't they know?
They don't know what's going on with Skull and Bones.
Oh shit.
Skull and Bones has restarted development.
Yep, evidently.
Andy, what the shit is happening over there at Ubisoft? Ubisoft's pirate adventure game Skull and Bones, this is coming from Game Rant, reportedly experiences further setbacks, possibly including a total development restart. 5 years after its reveal, Ubisoft Skull and Bones is back in the news, but it seems no closer to release than it was before. The nautical adventure, which was inspired by the naval battles in Assassin's Creed Black Flag, which were great, is in development by Ubisoft Singapore, but several roadblocks have resulted in major changes to the look and feel of Skull and Bones. No doubt, this is me adding some lines here, no doubt in response to Sea of Thieves, right? Like Sea of Thieves came in, they probably learned some hard lessons because Sea of Thieves came out like a big old donkey turd. But turned the ship around, no pun intended.
Very much did. Look at you, you're so clever.
Turned that ship around and is now one of the more beloved new IP from Microsoft's camp. So this was announced in 2017. It was slated to release in Q4 of 2018. And it is now probably coming in 2022, 2023.
Maybe. We don't know.
What's
you know what I understand? Like, you have the most basic, you have the foundation of what this game is in Black Flag, and Ubisoft is known for copying, pasting like across the entire Assassin's Creed franchise.
Right.
They couldn't just do with this. Like, oh, now you're gonna give a shit. What's going on here? What's breaking on your end?
Well, here's I think the most interesting thing is that they have a source. An anonymous source that was connected, told the site Game Luster that it completely restarted development a few months ago. This was apparently the second time since its conception that the game's development has completely restarted from the ground up. The current build of Skull and Bones more closely resembles Microsoft's multiplayer pirate-themed title Sea of Thieves, including a mix of first and third-person POV segments, depending on whether players are aboard the ship or on land. The same source said that a number of Skull and Bones team members, including the managing director of Ubisoft Singapore, were let go as part of Ubisoft's response to multiple sexual harassment allegations. As a result, the team behind the game is short-staffed, likely making the difficult process of restarting the game from scratch even more tricky.
How long until it's just flat out canceled?
Yikes. I mean, right now it's shit or get off the crapper, right?
Yeah. I don't think it was taking so long. I don't understand. I'd like to know.
I don't understand it either. I just don't know.
Just don't get it.
You know what I do get?
What do you get?
Because we obviously don't have much to say about that.
We don't. Because it's just a fucking rumor of a delay, maybe.
I don't get how Souls-like games and Final Fantasy have not been a thing
Steven,
before.
I'm gonna take my orgasm back from the whole Housemarque contest.
This doc is just full of this doc is a whole orgy. This is an orgy of news. There's the name of the episode: Orgy of News.
An orgy of news.
That'll help the algorithm.
Yes, definitely. We'll get them Twitch titty clicks at some point in this up in here. Yes. So there's a rumor that Square Enix has tapped the shoulders of Team Ninja to develop a Final Fantasy spin-off game in a Souls-like Neo fashion, and it's coming exclusively to the PS5. And we're seeing it at E3 this year.
It's a lot of rumors.
With an alpha coming out over the summer to play test some of the game's mechanics. Like that was a Neo move. They did too. So not totally insane. I want to hear all your thoughts on this before I go into something with sources of mine. And
I don't mind Final Fantasy spin-off games. I think some of the spin-off Final Fantasy games are the best games in the entire franchise. Disgaea being one of them. Dissidia being another. Maybe not Dirge of Cerberus, maybe not that one. But like we've had some great ones. And as Buzz mentions, Tactics, of course. I don't even think that as a spin-off. I just think of that as like a different type
of
RPG.
That
but
World of Final Fantasy. Remember that one?
Well, yeah, World of Final Fantasy was pretty cool too.
Yeah,
but yeah, they do a good job with Final Fantasy, and playing the role of a solo, non-party based rogue going off and doing something in a Final Fantasy realm sounds really, really intriguing to me. Do you hope this is in one of the established Final Fantasy settings?
So, as when this rumor first came out, more information came out over the weekend. It's apparently closely tied to the very first Final Fantasy game on the NES.
Okay.
So that's like Warrior of Light type stuff going on.
Yeah.
So that's kind of neat. Like the Chosen Four, which is like what happens in the Bravely Default world. It's like the 4 Warriors of Light situation going on.
Right.
So yeah, I'm just imagining, I said this in the Discord, how imagining Dark Souls type jobs as classes, but they're Final Fantasy jobs.
Right.
That makes me really excited. Plus, Neo has multiplayer, so if it's you're uniting 4 players with you, or 3 of your friends,
right?
It's 4 of you playing co-op. That's also
a cool idea.
Think about.
That's a cool idea. Do you want it to be like Souls, where it's a just dangerous world with no real RPG like conversations, branching paths? Like it's you know what I mean? Like do you want that?
Final Fantasy can never go the full on Souls route and just have like 0 spoken dialogue.
Right.
Because it's impossible for them. They need to have some sort of overall story going on. It can't be in the background. It can't be secondary to what's going on.
Maybe there's like some sort of war between light and dark, and you could you could cross over to the dark world with like your friends or alone, kind of like Monster Hunter, where you could go into to go hunt the monster. You go in and you go hunt the whatever the fuck, the bomb or the cactar.
And I'm wondering if this will be more like of the Neo style. It's like you pick a spot on the map. It's an enclosed section with the beginning and end, a start and a finish, a boss fight. You close it out, and then you go back to the map and you pick a new level. Or will we see more of a Dark Souls where it's like a big open connected walk around and explore and that kind of stuff? I'm guessing it'll lean more towards Neo because it's the Neo team developing this game. But I do want to say something on this game in terms of leaks and what happens when a leak like this comes out, and I reach out to people that I know and I ask to confirm if it's true or not, just so folks know what happens to people who work for a company when rumors coming out. So what happens is, first of all, their LinkedIn profiles explode with 1,001 notifications. It's always like, hey, is this true? Hey, is this true? Hey, is this true? Just, it's a deluge, like a downpour of that all day long. Plus, people don't understand that even commenting on this stuff publicly or unofficially can get you, at the very least fired, and at maybe the worst, you're going to get sued also.
Ooh, baby.
By a company.
Bring that gavel down.
So I've had some fun conversations in the last couple of days regarding this rumor, which I cannot comment on if it's real or not. But it's going to be a good E3 either way.
Either way, we're getting an E3 that has news.
It's going to be a fun E3.
Well, that's not the only dormant, not really dormant, but old from our childhood franchises. Sega is reportedly going to reveal
Sega
projects for Sonic's 30th anniversary week. This week. I cannot believe that it's 30 years. Sonic feels to me
make you feel a certain way,
like the opposite of 30 years ago. Like, I mean, it does, but like at the same, I don't know. It's hard to explain. So yeah, 9 a.m. So does that sound familiar? On the 27th, is that also that's not familiar? So they're actually going to go off though, but way before the PlayStation thing. But it's going to be the same day as that silly countdown starts. As you can see, we expect things like merchandise and tie-ins to be announced. We also hope the projects mean some games for us to get excited about, of course. And that comes from Nintendo Life. Nintendo Life, excited about a Sega franchise. You'll love to see it, ladies and gentlemen. The console war is over.
So over.
It's over.
It's done with.
Red and blue, and then blue and green come together.
Brown.
And make brown. It's beautiful.
A big old pile of dookie.
I know a lot of hardcore Sonic fans out there, and I'm very happy they get to have this. I cannot care any less about Sonic the Hedgehog.
Do you think we'll see more than Sonic shit or other Sega shit, or just Sonic?
No, it'll be Sonic.
Just Sonic.
Yeah.
Sonic Mania 2.
Give us Sonic Spinball 2. Can we get that?
What would you want to see, Steven? As the non-Sonic, as someone who couldn't give two shits about Sonic, what do you want to see out of this? You want to see like a more 2D game or 3D game?
No.
Something weird like a Sonic Team Racing thing coming out of left field?
No.
What do you want to see?
Here's what I want.
Tell me.
You ready for this?
I never am, but go ahead anyway.
I want the Ratchet and Clank Sonic.
Oh, Steven.
That's what I want. Happen. I want there to be...
It's never going to happen.
I want it to be an adventure with some platforming elements. Focus on speed in some sections. Power-ups. Big enemies to fight. And you can have your friend Tails with you. Or Knuckles. Or whoever. Shadow.
Tails is going to be your Clank.
It could be like a rotating cast, depending on the world you're in. Or like maybe those, you know what I want? It Takes Two, but Sonic.
It's Sonic and Knuckles.
Yeah.
Or it's Sonic and fucking Robotnik.
See?
if it's It Takes Two.
Sonic and Robotnik. That's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah, it'd be kind of funky. I'm into that.
Yeah. He like tinkers with stuff to make like little robot helpers, and then Sonic has to figure out a way to like.
It's kind of wild. Yeah.
I don't know. Do anything.
Oh, that's kind of neat when I think about it. That'd be fun.
I'd play it.
That'd be fun.
But I just don't. I don't like the level design of traditional Sonic because all they do is encourage you to go fast, and then they put booby traps in your way to artificially make the game. Like
it breaks the acceleration.
Longer.
It's like,
I mean, I get it. Like, oh, you have to come up with the optimal path, but like that sucks because all you have to do is play the game 2 or 3 times, memorize the path, and hooray, you did it. Like Mario's the same way, but it's like you could still beat levels in very different ways. You can, the permutations in each level of Mario is far greater than anything you'll find in Sonic. Sonic's like spring, take you to like a thing that makes you go fast and woo, spin around, go straight up in the air, break a thingy. And, find a little secret thing in the side of a cliff. Like that, there's no true variety in a Sonic's level design. So I'm just kind of over that style. I don't care. And we know the 3D ones barely work. Like the Sonic 06, which was god awful. Just god awful.
Oh god, Sonic 06.
But the what was it? The secret rings or whatever it was for Wii?
Sonic Colors was good.
That's not the one I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of the one that came out in 06 with Sonic 06.
Yeah, that was something with.
It was like something the secret rings or.
It was like a Wii exclusive, right? It was
Yeah.
only on the Wii.
Yeah, that one was not bad. That one was okay. Because it used waggle where you would like. It was basically an on rails runner, but you used waggle to kind of like get stuff. But it was fine. But that's kind of what I look at Sonic. I'm like, Sonic is basically a gotcha phone game. Like that's really, I mean, from what it could be as far as speed and like just reflexes go. And I don't look for that in a game. Like I just don't care about that.
Want a more measured.
I want something with more story and take. He's a great character. That world is awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
But
like, yeah, exactly. I want to be in that world. Like,
right.
The Sonic, the one with the babies. What the hell game is that?
The Dreamcast ones?
Yes.
The one with the babies?
Is that what like the baby animals, like the baby animals that you like have to take care of?
Oh, with the Chows or Chaos. They had weird names. With the little Dreamcast.
Adventure.
The fucking
I'm sorry.
VMU.
Yes, Adventure. The Sonic Adventure games
2
are pretty cool.
Adventure 2. Yeah.
Like those are pretty cool, and you could do that, but Ratchet and Clank that shit, like up the production drastically. That's what I want.
So you want Shadow of the Hedgehog 2? That's all I'm hearing.
Sure.
Out of your mouth. That's all.
Dirge of Sonic. That's what I want. Andy, take us into the hype zone.
Oh boy, guys, it's time to get your head out of the clouds, or rather, get them into the clouds.
Whoa.
We have an update of Hellblade 2.
Oh, thank you.
You guys, Hellblade 2.
I'm sorry, what?
Hellblade.
Oh.
2.
Okay.
Hellblade 2. Guys, for a game that was announced over a year ago. They have damed us with the most important, most earth-shattering, most stunning update of all. I will read and quote.
Thank you.
Their tweet.
Do.
A bit cloudy, isn't it? Here we're using flow maps to make clouds form and dissolve naturally in Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2, #WIP. And we can't help but notice this stunning cloud work. And it makes you think, where the fuck is this game?
Yeah.
Why
are we working
am
on
I
clouds?
only seeing clouds? All right, listen. If you go back in the time machine in the early Nintendo dual screen days, you will find me, to much delight, having a super boner for Hellblade. I love that game, and I am so excited for part 2.
You're getting a lot of boners today.
I know it's too much for me. I'm gonna pass out. I cannot wait for this game. This was a team of 20 that made a AA game feel like a AAA game. It was beautiful. It had a lot of heart, story about mental illness and schizophrenia. It was, you can only imagine what a team like this could do with Microsoft money. But for crying out loud, if I can get an announcement for Horizon 2 and then less than a year later have a full-blown 20-minute gameplay reveal, there's no reason why in over a year I can see more than just clouds.
I mean, I agree with you. Like, yeah, you should be able to see more, but the time is coming, Andy.
I know it's coming.
The season is here.
I know it's nigh. I know it's upon us.
Yes.
Like, in all seriousness,
right?
I want this game like tomorrow. I'm that excited for it. I can't wait.
Okay. All right. But
yeah.
So we have Facebook question of the week this week.
Ooh.
Was by our super fan Buzz Killington. Posted this one. Kirby just swallowed you. What ability did he get? Tahoe says crippling depression. By the way, folks, this is when you can queue up your questions here in the chat if you want to ask your questions. And CTO, I like your question, so I will go over that one. So thank you for that. Vanessa says, always finding a super close parking spot. Think that's useful for Kirby? I don't think so.
Possibly.
Brian Dean says diabetes. That's unfortunate. He's got the low sugars.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Envy says empathy, and he hates it. He doesn't. So he just can't. Like, all the characters are dying off the screen, and he's just hating every minute of it.
Yeah.
DJ says astigmatism. So just a slightly off curvature of the
Lord.
eyeball.
Yes.
That's interesting. Mr. Nuff says mild anxiety with a side of guitar hands.
Oh. Now, did the anxiety give him guitar hands, or did the guitar hands give him anxiety?
I mean, we'll let the imagination run wild. Alex says the ability to name all of the Mega Man 3 Robot Masters clockwise in less than 10 seconds.
Oh shit, can I do that?
Can you?
I don't think I can. Not in 10 seconds.
Not in 10 seconds, okay.
10 seconds.
Curtis says bottomless stomach and pretty fast for a fat guy walking. I like that. That's good. Daniel Jones says irritable bowel movements.
My God, what the hell? Poor Kirby. He's got this, the guitar hand, stigmatism, and the anxiety, the empathy or the apathy. What's I don't understand.
Sin the Scissor says he becomes green and is able to smoke anything he touches. Gameplay quality takes a dive, though.
Yeah, you think it would a little bit, or you never know. It may go up. It may go up.
Zach Jones says drum skills.
All right,
Drum skills. He becomes a good drummer. Does he become a drum though? Andy, if Kirby swallows you, what does he get? What powers does he get?
Depression.
Depression. Yeah.
I don't know.
Crippling depression.
The sloth, laziness,
indifference.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll go with that. That.
I know what power he gets if he sucks you up.
What?
Sticky fingers.
Sticky fingers.
Just because we run around, just start stealing shit from everyone. They won't even know.
They won't even know. I cut my good stealing fingers.
I know. They're gone. They're gone. Keep your wallets close, folks, when you're around Andy.
Yeah.
All right.
You know who he'd be if he swallowed you? He'd be an asshole. That's what he'd be.
There it is. There it is. We got it. That's hurtful, Andy. That's hurtful. Now you're just being hurtful at this point. What did I ever do to you?
Not enough.
What did I ever do to you to deserve this kind of treatment?
I've
Man,
done right by
just
you.
come in here and you just start hurting my feelings personally.
Okay,
here we go. CTO asks, what in the world is a 3A or a 2A game? What's the difference? AAA versus AA.
It's an excellent question.
So, the most basic answer to this is a game with a massive budget behind it by a major publisher. Doesn't have to be a first-party publisher, but a major publisher, like a Ubisoft, like a whatever, that is large enough in scope to require multiple millions of dollars, sometimes tens, if not $100 million, is considered a AAA title. It's the same way you would look at movies, where you have your summer blockbuster, or you have your B-tier horror movie. The horror movie will have a budget of 30 million. The blockbuster will have a budget of 300 million. It doesn't mean that the horror movie is going to be of less quality all the time, but it's more a conversation about the budget. For a indie game to achieve AAA status, it is very difficult. We have spoken to, for example, Dead by Daylight. Would you consider that a AAA game?
Yeah, it's I feel like it's done so much over the last 5 years. It's become one. It's evolved
right
to that point.
It's become a AAA game. It's still when it came out, it was a AA game. It was a middle budget, just kind of pulling the pieces together. Like Ubisoft has made AA games. They're usually much smaller in scope. What would you call Phoenix Rising, whatever the hell it's called?
Phoenix feels very AA to me.
Right?
Because you can look at it, I feel like it wasn't on the cheap, but there was some money in there, but not to the level of Assassin's Creed.
Right.
No way. Or even look at Biomutant. That screams AA when I look at it too. It's not super duper polished, but it has a little bit of that going on in the background. So yeah.
Like It Takes Two. AA.
Yeah, or A Way Out, AA.
Right.
Or like Unraveled, those kind of games.
Right.
It's like it's a fine line between like a pure indie. Well, indie again, it's a more broad term, but AA and AAA, it's all about that level of polish, the budget, and how big the team is too.
Yeah, also, the team does have
a factor.
But
I think is a factor.
You look at. All right, so let's look at Dark Souls, Demon Souls, whatever. Bloodborne, AAA games. Remnant from the Ashes, AA. Same style game, similar polish, way smaller budget, way smaller team, way smaller dev cycle. A lot of those games are crowdfunded. Now, what's the difference between that and an indie game? Indie games can still find major publishers. Indie games are technically, from beginning to end of their development, their core development, they are independently funded. Meaning the studio raise the money themselves, put the money in themselves, or use profits from a previous release to create
their houses,
or mortgage their houses, which we've had people that have done that.
Have $10 in the bank account before you launch a game,
and a deal between an indie developer and an indie game publisher are vastly different from a major studio huge. And a major publisher. The deals are way different. The money being exchanged is way different. The cut that you get is way different.
And the purpose. I feel like in most cases in the indie side, a publisher is like, we'll be like your megaphone, we'll do your marketing for you.
Right.
But we won't compromise your vision. We don't have asks of you because we're in it because we like what you're doing. Not because
we're not contracting you to make something for us.
Right.
They're not contracting you to make something for them. They are basically you're contracting them to publish your game, essentially. They get their little cut or whatever cut they are, in order to provide that service. There are indie publishers out there that recruit these games because they know they can make money off of them, and they know they have the resources to get a bigger audience for that game. But like, there's no like single A games. I mean, you could count any indie game that's not a major published game as like your single A games. Back in the day, AA games were the majority of games, and you got a lot of good ones. Because AAA games weren't always a home run. You didn't always get a great game from the major publishers like EA and Activision and all that stuff. But even Rockstar made AA games. Technically, I would say Bully, when it first came out, was a AA game. It wasn't on the same scope as a Grand Theft Auto. It was much smaller in scope. Obviously, it had a huge budget.
But the Warriors too.
Yeah, the Warriors. Yeah, they made the Warriors. Yeah, AA. Rockstar Table Tennis, definitely AA. And those are all Rockstar games, one of the biggest companies in the world. So, they make them. They do make them out there. You just have to kind of look for them. And of course, Biomutant.
Right.
AA. It's got a major publisher now in THQ Nordic, but its development and its budget was significantly less than what you would expect from something like, say, Assassin's Creed.
Right.
Or God of War. Or Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. But here we are.
Yes, here we are.
We did it. All right,
we did a show, guys.
We did it. That's going to be the end of the show. If you like what you are watching or listening to, please spread the show out. Spread this channel. We just had one of our biggest shows ever. It literally went up today. If you're watching live or if you're listening the next day, it went up yesterday. we finally got the video version of our show.
So good.
For the Dual Screens podcast, which is on the same channel. You don't have to go anywhere else. Andy, why don't you tell everybody about that show?
So we had both the face and the voice of Returnal Celine, Ann Byer and Jane Perry at the same time join us. And it was more magical than I ever imagined it would be.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, am I still a gay man if I'm in love with two women? I don't know. I don't know what that makes me, Stephen. Confused, I guess, is what it makes me. But,
I mean, yeah, I guess. The most magical thing about that episode was how they were talking to each other, because they didn't have contact before our show, really, in that way, that face-to-face way.
No.
In a way, and said this during the show, that she was like starstruck, speaking to Jane.
Right, because she went over her IMDb page and was like, fuck, she's done things.
A lot of things.
She's done a lot of things.
Yeah. So it's a great conversation. It's about 45 minutes of your time. So go back there, watch that, spread it to your friends, thumbs that sumbitch up. And check us out on social media. We're at Duel_Screens on Twitter, at Dual Screens on Instagram. I'm at Batchild27. Andy's at Pants Guy. You can follow our Facebook group. Go over there and hang out and chat. Facebook.com/group/DS Podcasts. And if you join our Patreon for as little as $1, you get into our VIP Discord, where it's always popping. Man, are we always talking in there. Lots of shit talking going on in there. And it's been a blast. It's a blast every single day. I'm trying to keep it on my phone a little bit more often. I don't know if you noticed that, Andy, but I'm trying.
Yeah.
If you want to buy some Dual Screens merch, we're going to have some new merch soon, but go to dualscreens.com/store where you can check that out. And that is going to do it, Andy. Do you have anything you want to tell the kids before we go?
Yeah, fingers crossed that we get approved for E3 status.
Oh, yeah.
And we can be at the first ever Dual Screens invades E3. It's going to happen at some point.
It could be.
Fingers crossed.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you, listeners. Thank you, viewers. And as always, please be excellent to each other.